All right, we're live. Hey, y'all. Hello, everybody. I hope that everybody is doing well today. I hope everybody had a happy Monday and not a sad Monday.
That's right.
I hope that it was
Great man.
I hope that it was great. Um excuse my lighting, but it's okay. I want you all to like, share, tag, all of the above, whatever is coming from my page. I just need to tag people. I don't need to share.
Mm, That's right.
I just need to share. So y'all share and y'all like and do all of that good stuff. So y'all share and y'all now look at me. All right, I'm turning my volume down so you can't hear the feedback.
Confusion, empathy.
All right, I'm tagging a couple of people. Yeah. All right,
Uh,
God bless y'all. Oh, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate everybody who's somebody. Let me tag my sisters. Because one thing about my older sister, she gonna share. My older sister's gonna share. You hear me? All right.
Marquise.
Oh yeah. That's my boo. If support was a person. All right. All right. So we're on. We're live. We're gonna go ahead and get started. And we'll let people catch the replay, jump on, and hello to those in YouTube land. We appreciate you so much. So this is the last week of Hey Sis, Let's Talk to the Educated Black Men. And I'm getting ready to share this to my family page because we both family on here. So let me share this to my family page. I'm excited tonight. A little bumfundle because we had a rocky start, but I'm excited tonight because this particular guest is my biological cousin, like my biological family. Like before my last name was Hardage, it was Gregg. That was my last name. Before I was a Hardage, I was a Gregg. So I'm so excited about my cousin being on, my second cousin, if I'm doing my math correct there. Is that right?
We ain't gonna hold it against you though.
Yeah, I think you said what?
Right, you are. Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, we second cousin. I ain't gonna hold that against you for not knowing though. You good.
I did. I have to figure it out, but we'll talk about how that's a little
They got
different later.
carry the one.
So I have a co-host on tonight. So I'm excited about having a co-host. My co-host tonight is Brother Kevin. He's actually started us out at the beginning of the month, and that was an awesome conversation. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to open up. I'm going to give we'll go in this order. I'll let Kevin introduce himself again, and then after he introduces himself, my cousin Patrick, he has a name. He'll come and he will introduce himself and tell you a little bit of his background, things of that nature, and then we'll jump into the conversation. We'll do it like that.
All right. Very brief backstory of me. I'm Kevin Batiste, native Charlotte 10. Well, I feel like I'm on an interview. I'm like native Charlotte 10. Let's see, Bachelor's of Science in Hospitality, Master's of Science in Hospitality, aspiring aspiring dean of a department of hospitality management, or chair of a department or curriculum instructor.
Awesome.
All right, glory. Brought to you by Dasani Ward. No, I'm playing. Go ahead.
All right. All right, Patrick, it's on you.
All right. I am Captain Patrick Gregg, associates in education, bachelor's in African American history, master's in information technology. I am currently the Florence Army Recruiting Company commander for duty and reserve Army recruiting. It is a great honor to be here tonight, supporting my cousin, doing what I do. As you know, I love spreading, just different knowledge of who I am and what I do. So grateful to be here, cuz.
Wow. Degree up. Some of those degrees I didn't know you had.
Hey,
Look
man,
at me.
sometimes you just gotta keep moving.
Yeah, just get it in silence and just keep on going on. All right, so we'll open up the
Got
comments. I
to.
love it. I love it. All right, so I'm going to. So the opening question would be, what pushed you to pursue education? What, like we said it when we talked to Kevin, like everything is kind of rooted in your why. Like what made you do it? Why? What was the driving force? Give us background on that.
Well, I guess the biggest picture of it is that I wanted to be the first of my mother's kids to actually finish. And then with me playing basketball, it kind of like was a combined thing. So the more I played ball, the more I was able to go to school for free, which was a great thing. So I ended up working on my associates, and then I ended up going to Illinois associates. And then from Illinois, I went to North Carolina A&T, Aggie Pride. Got my bachelor's from A&T, American History. And then later on, after I joined the Army, that's when I got my master's in IT to go along with IT specialist in the Army. So it kind of, it all kind of rolled in together.
Right.
Yeah, it's a long journey.
I mean, but in the end, it all starts to work out. And so you attended. Let me see if I remember this right. So you graduated from where did you graduated from Wilson? Is that correct?
Nah, I actually I did my freshman, sophomore, and junior year at Wilson. My senior year, I got recruited to play basketball out in Texas. My senior year of high school in Houston.
Okay, I think I remember something like that. I do.
Yeah.
I remember it now. I was young. I was younger. I was younger. Jesus, I'm telling y'all, I was 13 last week. I'm telling you, and I woke up and I'm 30 something. So that's and then So, and I think this is an interesting story. And I'm like, Lord, these questions I can ask at the family reunion, but I'm asking them on live tonight. What caused you to? Well, we just might as well dive in your profession. So you are a captain in the Army. In your profession, what led you there?
What, to me joining the Army?
Yeah.
So what led me to joining the Army? Honestly, I'll never forget it. So, after graduating from A&T, I came back home to Florence, and I was just so distraught on like, what do I do next? Like, I achieved my goal of getting my bachelor's degree, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I know I didn't want to work in no fast food. I didn't want to, go right into being a teacher of African American history because it didn't really pay no money for the type of that playing basketball gave me.
Right.
I just was talking to one of my mentors, the late Officer Terrence Caraway, and he was like, "You might need to look into joining the Army." And so he took me over to the recruiting area, which I am now over, and dropped me off and was like, "Make a decision. I'll come back and get you." So that's how I ended up joining the Army. But that's how I ended up joining the Army. But it was as it allowed me, like I said, to continue my education. But it also allowed me to continue playing basketball. I've been playing basketball for the Army my whole career. And that's what really kept me in the Army, playing basketball, to be honest.
And how many years do you have of service so far?
I will be hitting 15 this August.
That's awesome. Thank you for your service.
Yeah. Thank you. That is.
I appreciate your support. Long time.
And so I'm going to jump back into questions. Or Brother Kevin it's on you. Yeah.
Oh, glory to God. A question: could you walk me through your master's journey of being a Black man in the industry as well as getting a degree? Because I know my experience is getting a master's, but what was yours like?
Honestly, it wasn't all that hard. So growing up in our family, when you are, I want to say a subject matter expert, but when you're actually good at something that you do, we just jump on it and keep going until something else come up. So
Yeah.
being on my own, when I started my master's in IT, I just was, honestly just pushing myself. So the process of finishing my master's was, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention me and my wife actually went into doing our masters together. So we graduated together. We walked together while she was pregnant with our daughter. So we were kind of like pushing each other just to finish it. Going through your career in the Army to get to the next I am now promotable of as a major, they look at, your educational background. And so we had our bachelor's before we came in the Army. So we were kind of, just stagnant for a little while when it came to that piece. But to make major or be competitive for major, you would have to have your major. I mean, it's hard all of our peers. And we walked together, we graduated together, we went to same school. We knocked it out. So it wasn't. I could say it wasn't a hard process, but because we had each other and we were pushing each other, it made it easier.
Yeah.
Right. And so that speaks to another dynamic to be pursuing education. I know Kevin pursued it as a single man. And so pursuing your master's as a married man, that's a married man, a father, and still having to show up in all of those areas because life doesn't stop because you're going to pursue a degree. So
right.
So you're still working, you're still, being a father, you're still being a husband, a brother. Like life doesn't stop because you're in pursuit of those things. And I think that it speaks to a discipline. Because I know that the Army in itself is a discipline, that I realized I did not have. So my aspirations of joining the Army ended quick because I was like, I'm not disciplined enough for that. But it still takes a discipline outside of your career to say, I still have to show up in all these places, but I know that this is something that I need to do to advance myself. And I think a lot of times people don't consider the totality of what it takes to get there. And the factors that still remain. Like I can go pursue a master's degree tomorrow, but I'm still going to have to be a wife. I'm still going to have to be a sister. I'm still going to have to be a teacher. I'm still going to have to be Minister Hardis. I'm still going to have to be all of those things while I'm pursuing. And so it goes. And then from your bachelor's to your master's, your why changed. So initially pursuing it, it's kind of amazing how life works out. Because when you think about it, so I didn't necessarily know I was going to be a teacher. Like I didn't necessarily know that. I kind of said it a couple of times, but once I got older, it brought up the money aspect of it. And so, and I'm not going to throw my family under the bus, but we are like hustlers, okay? Like, it's like if there is money to be made, go make it. Like, we got a family, and it don't matter. And I'm gonna be very transparent. It don't matter what your hustle is. We are just hustlers, like, and we just work extremely hard, and we're very competitive. Oh my goodness, we are very competitive in every regard, and even to the point that we're competitive with ourselves. Like with everything that you named off, those are so many accomplishments. But because the mindset that we have, that we were raised with, is like, but that's not enough. Go harder. Like I have a mother that will be like, "Oh, that's cute, but go harder."
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if y'all ever meet my mom and she jump on hear this, it's like, "Oh yeah, you can do that, but yep, go harder." And it's almost like you're always trying to pursue success. And I used to look at that like that's horrible now. Like we gotta calm down. But I'm learning that
I mean,
it's I'm learning that it was a good quality to put in us because we have good work ethic.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I love my family though. Shout out to the Gregg family, but they pushed us to do. But even with that, is there pressure to keep going? Like, does that put pressure on you? Is that because sometimes like, is this really what I want to do, or do I feel pressure to keep going because I'm never gonna feel like I've obtained success?
Right, right.
I don't think it's pressure because, and I can only speak for me.
Right.
I don't let nothing or nobody pressure me when it comes to what I want to do with my life. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna just go do
Right.
it. And when I get ready to stop at whatever it is, I'm stopping. Period. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think for the most part, the why changed for me. As a husband, as a and still working in the Army, my why changed because there was more to be got. Like you said, like I needed my master's to continue, but I don't think anything that we desire to do will come without sacrifice. You got to
Right.
sacrifice it. So in that, there were a lot of nights of we side by side doing papers together or taking time. And like my wife would finish her exam and I'll still be going. I mean, and it was late nights. Like I can remember a few times where I didn't finish a paper until 2 a.m. I had to get right back up by 6 or 6:30 for PT for physical training and finish my whole day. You know what I'm saying? And still after that, come back home, be a husband, play with the kids, and still go right back into finishing another exam that was due weekly. But what I will, like you said, it definitely takes, that focus, that drive to keep going. So in that, yeah, it's just part of the mentality that you carry once you decide that that's what you want to do.
That's real.
Is there more for you for education? Will you pursue that PhD or EDD or whichever doctoral terminal degree?
So with IT, if I pursue a PhD, then I'll be going into the field of teaching, like what I've learned, over the years in IT. Now, if I go another route and actually not continue, because so with IT, once I get my master's and I have all my updated certifications, I pretty much can, start my own consultant right now and just go on and do whatever it is that I desire to do.
Right.
So for me personally, I don't think I'm gonna keep going. I think that's pretty much my stopping point right there for my master's.
Understood.
That's my stopping point.
Yeah, that master's was something else. I think it was the research that really got to me. I'm not a writer, so I utilized that writing center like crazy. And I stopped life. When I tell you I became a full-time student again, it was something else. And it was in my mid-20s. I was just like, this is crazy. People doing, and like you're saying, I was sitting in classes with people who were full-blown adults. Like, y'all got families, y'all got spouses. I'm like, how are y'all doing this? So that's why I was like, I gotta go hard and get what I came to do. But I really do commend everybody who goes into education and they're like adulting. Like when adult is adulting. It's crazy.
Yeah, trying to adult at the same time. that's a real process right there. Trying to adult and learn at the same time. That's a real process. No joke.
And so, thank y'all for keeping the party going. Thank y'all. Just, all right. So, the blessing of having a co-host. Okay, look at.
Ain't that something?
So hurdles, we all have them. Like, there's some challenges along the way. Sometimes people see the end product and it's like, oh man, that look easy. Man, listen, there are some things there are obstacles that stand in the way. I'm not one of those people that get into the big debate about race. I don't necessarily get into the debate because, one, I feel how I feel, and there's really no reason for me to debate it because you're not going to change my feelings, because I know what history says and I know what I've seen working in education, going to get a degree and, pursuing education. So I've seen the obstacles and the hurdles, and the reality is I was born with one obstacle, and that was my skin color. It just is what it is. So, like, it's not something that I debate because I'm like, there's no need to debate because that means that I'm not going back and forth because I know what I've experienced. I know what, but we all have hurdles with being people that are African-American, Black, and being educated. So there are hurdles that come along the way. And sometimes I think people think it's a fairy tale. So can you talk to us about any hurdles that you think might have been along the way and how you overcame those hurdles or obstacles?
So I can tell you this, when it comes to hurdles for me throughout the process of, I'll just say, getting to where I am, I'll tell you that. Doors would open, but the value of the door wouldn't be the same, if that makes sense.
Wow.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The door of
That's real.
The door of the, as I reach each level, the door would be there, like, because performance is everything. Like, people look at elevate you to the next. So with that, the door for your next level would always be there. Once I achieved this level, I did this, we are successful in this, we're successful in that. The door will be here for where I'm gonna go next. I can still walk through that door, but the value of the door wouldn't be. See, I walk through that door, my work is 10 times harder.
Yeah. That's real. that is real. But I think the victory in it is that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so with that, when you get the opportunity to take your chance, whether it's making you feel as if you didn't deserve it, still walk through that door with the same anticipation of you deserve it, knowing that you deserve it, and just keep going. Because at the end of the day, what we learned growing up, everything ain't gonna be given to you. You gotta go get it. So even though the value of the door wasn't there, my hurdle, not looking at it, my hurdle was knowing, okay, it ain't gonna be the same for me as I get to the next part. So I'm gonna just go that much harder to make them.
Right. So listen, I ain't gonna park there. I'm just gonna keep on going. And so we'll close with and I think, well, no, we don't have to close with it because I think you already said it. The individuals like to keep going, even if people don't necessarily value you, in a sense. Like, knowing that you deserve something should be enough, and what people say doesn't necessarily matter. And so I'm not going to hold you all on tonight. I'm gonna let us go. I said we're gonna do 30 minutes. But thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate, your sacrifice. We said that. Thank you for your service. We're grateful for your family. I think military families don't necessarily get the recognition because they allow you to serve. The blessing for you is that your wife served. So she would understand the sacrifice. But I am eternally grateful to be, connected. We're family, and I'm extremely proud because I got to see some of the struggles. But even if being family members, you don't necessarily know the whole story. And sometimes, I'll just be honest, you don't care to find out either. You just assume, but not knowing the whole story, but being proud of how far you've come. And I think that that's commendable, that you chose education as the way out. Basketball, and having the right people in place to push you to places that, people don't necessarily know to push you. And I want, if I'm in our immediate family, I'm talking about like our great grandma, you may be the only Black male with a degree. I think that may be the case.
I think so.
Yeah, I never thought about it just now.
I think so.
Oh wow.
Just now. But at least that those that come behind you know that it's there, that they can access it because you did it. And I know that I shared the fact that it was my first lady that kind of pushed me to go back to school to get my degree. But I know that I was in one of my classes, and that was one of the questions they asked us, like, who in your family has degrees? And I was naming off, females. And I was like, wait, my cousin Patrick has a bachelor's degree. And then, and I think while I was pursuing my bachelor's degree, you were pursuing your master's. And so I think that that's commendable. I'm extremely proud of the life and the legacy that you're leading. And I think that God gets glory out of it. Because he doesn't just get glory inside of the church. He gets the glory out of what we do outside of the four walls. So thank you all so much. My co-host is the best in the whole wide world. He didn't know that he would be co-hosting with me, but we thank him for his best. He didn't know. We did it the first night. I said, hey, you want to co-host with me one time? Hey, I hope it's a yes, because I asked him on live. So we thank God for yes. But thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good night. I'm not going to hold us long at all. Thank you, everybody that watched, everybody that'll catch the replay. We'll be back in May with Hey Sis, Let Us Talk. We're taking a break in the month of April. We're taking a break. Sis is tired. I am Sis, and Sis is me. So we're going to retreat a little bit. We're going to take a break. But we will be back in May. I promise we'll be back in May. Everybody have a good night. Thank y'all so much for joining us.